Why did you want to become a master gardener?
I wanted to become a master gardener in order to learn more horticultural, agricultural techniques, and I wanted an organization where I could do volunteer work that was community education oriented. And in particular, what interested me was the children's programs, because I have been a teacher in the distant past and I'm always been interested in education. The gardening part of it has been very interesting because I knew nothing about it previously other than just haphazard plant here, plant there, and I have learned a lot about best practices and right plant, right place.
How did the program help you to get to that spot?
Well, the training program totally gave me more training than I had ever had before in plant pathology and plant identification and soil amendments and gardening techniques, composting, and it's very thorough and it's very detailed, and it's the training program is put on by Virginia Cooperative Extension through Virginia Tech, and it's very scientific oriented.
Does a person need to be an accomplished gardener before they become a master gardener?
Absolutely not. In fact, there are some members that I don't believe do extensive gardening at all. They're more interested in the community education aspect of it, and in particular the plant clinics that we hold at the farmers markets in the summer, and our help desk that we have at our extension offices, where they are helping the public with identification of plant pathologies and things of that nature. So you don't have to be a gardener to be a master gardener.
Is the program designed to help people become more environmentally friendly gardeners?
Well, one of the interesting things about the Master Gardener program is that in our monthly meetings we always have an educational component, and those 1-hour educational programs are put on by experts in different fields. So you're getting a lot of information about environment and about the local efforts to sustain good land practices, as well as once a year in June, the Virginia Master Gardeners Association puts on a Master Gardener College. And there are many speakers there, and they're font of information, and many of them are involved around environmental protection and environmental ways to be a good environmental steward.
Many people in the Northern Neck live on waterfront property. So is the Master Gardener program designed to help them?
Well, we have a very active, large group of our local Master Gardeners involved in an integrated shoreline evaluation assistance program. We refer to it as IC. And these Master Gardeners will go to homeowners who have shoreline issues with erosion or want ways to better protect the shoreline that they currently have. That's a very active program, and it has been very successful.
Tell me about your experience as a master gardener and what it's meant to you.
Well, I was hooked very, very quickly coming out of my training class in 2008. In the year of 2009, I volunteered to be the leader of the Soils program, which is a third grade program dealing with soil and composters and lots of different issues that the third grade students are involved in. Going on from there, I signed up to be the head of the registration for our spring seminar, Gardening in the Northern Neck. And so I got involved very quickly, and I got to know the organization, and I got to know the people, and it helped me to understand what we do and how much we want to do and where we're going, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Explain how your life experience and skills have helped you as a master gardener.
Well, I taught school for 2 years, and so that gave me the teaching experience, and as well I worked for 30 years as the human resources director for a bank in Alexandria, so I had a lot of organizational and administrative skills, and I think that that's probably my strong suit. I have a very difficult time telling you what mold is what or what insect is what, but I can get a group organized fairly well.
Tell me about any new skills you've learned as a result of being a master gardener.
Well, I've learned how to compost correctly. I had several failed heaps of mush, for a period of time. I have learned how to amend my soil correctly, how to make it richer and better. I've learned which plants to plant, and in fact, striving the natives. And since we have had so many different weather patterns over the past summers, drought to inundation of rain, I've figured out where I need to put things and how to make them grow, and not to spend so much money on plants that aren't going to make it.
Tell me about the Master Gardener projects that you've worked on and why they're interesting to you.
My main interest is with the children's program, and we have an ongoing program called SUMS. It stands for Students Using Math and Science, and it's with the third grade students in Lancaster Primary School. And that is a weekly program that runs up through the end of April. And it is very interesting to work with that age group as they are discovering their science projects, because that is one of the issues that they emphasize in the third grade. As well, we do have the soils program, and we have shoreline ecology, and those are also third grade programs. The Gardening in the Northern Neck, which is our seminar open to the public, held once a year in late March, is very interesting, and we have really increased our outreach to the community, going from numbers maybe in the hundreds until the last couple of years we have been reaching about 300 people. We bring in special speakers on different topics, and this program is very well received in the community.
You also work in the vegetable garden. Tell me something about that.
Well, we have a big vegetable garden at the Farm Museum location in the Heastville area, and that is food that we grow. All the food that we grow there, we give to a local food bank. And in last year, we grew close to 2,000 pounds of food, and we start most of our vegetables from seed. In fact, we're in the process of planting seeds right now. And then in the summer, we have a group of YMCA day students who come to the garden once a week, and we give them basic education in the training about gardening and plants, and that's very rewarding. The biggest reward there, though, is donating the food to the food bank. And we grow great eggplants.
What's the difference between the Master Gardener program and garden clubs?
Well, I don't know anything about garden clubs because I do not belong to one, but I think that because our main mission is education and working with the Virginia Cooperative Extension, and we have 3 very active agents in the Northern Neck, and so we volunteer for them and we work with them. And I believe the garden clubs are more civic oriented.
Are Master Gardeners free labor?
Yes, we are indeed free labor, but that is the nature of a volunteer organization, and the Northern Neck has a lot of retirees and a lot of organizations that are all run by volunteers. And so mainly you run into the same 100 people everywhere because we're all alpha personalities wanting to, help save the world. But I don't mind it being free because I can come and go as I please. I don't have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning and stay till 5. And if I want to take a week off, I can.
Yeah. You've already said that the training program is comprehensive, but there's also a requirement that a new trainee complete 50 hours of volunteer service. Why is that?
Well, you're only required to give 50 hours in the first year after you complete your training. And that's a payback to the organization because we are subsidizing the cost of the training. Then once you complete that 50 hours of training and become a Master Gardener, prior to that you're considered an intern. Once you become a Master Gardener, you are required to give 20 hours of service a year and 8 hours of continuing education, which the continuing education you can get through the monthly meetings. So 20 hours a year to belong to an organization is not too much to ask.
What sort of a person decides to become a Master Gardener, and is it mostly made up of women?
I believe that is the perception, that it's mostly white women between 60 and 70. But in fact, we have 15 men in our organization who are all very active. Our total membership is 75 right now, so that's a fairly good percentage. And we are going to be starting another training class in January of 2015, and we are going to make a special effort to recruit men and people of color. So the men that are in the organization are very active in different areas, and I think that we all get along very well.